Imagine a storm of men on horseback. This was the Mongol army. Led by Genghis Khan, they moved like the wind and struck like lightning. Entire empires crumbled before them. Who were these warriors? Nomads, masters of the horse and bow. Their main weapon was the composite bow, powerful and accurate. Fired from horseback, it was deadly. They used clever tactics, feigned retreats, encirclements, psychological warfare. Their discipline was iron, their loyalty absolute. They were conquerors, building an empire across continents. China, Persia, Russia, great civilizations fell. Their reputation of terror preceded them. Cities that resisted were often wiped out. This spread fear and broke the will to fight. Imagine hearing the news. The Mongols are coming. Kingdoms that had stood for centuries vanished in months. The speed of the Mongol advance was terrifying. They could cover vast distances, appear where least expected. No wall too high, no army too strong. They were a force of nature, a hurricane of destruction. Europe watched and trembled. The storm was heading west. The storm reached Hungary in 1241. King Bela IV ruled a prosperous kingdom. But it was not ready for the Mongols, led by Batu Khan and Subutai. Hungarian defenses were outdated. The decisive moment came at the Battle of Mohi, April 1241, near the Sajo River. The Hungarian army was large but overconfident. The Mongols used classic tactics, a feigned retreat, surprise attacks. The Hungarian camp became a slaughterhouse. The army was shattered, the kingdom left defenseless. What followed was a year of horror. The Mongols spread across Hungary like a plague. Towns and villages burned, crops destroyed, people hunted down. Hungary, a proud kingdom, was brought to its knees. King Bela IV barely escaped, fleeing for his life. The devastation was almost total. Some estimate half the population perished. The Mongols eventually withdrew in 1242, not because they were beaten, but because of news from their homeland. Hungary was left in ruins, but a lesson had been burned into its soul. The Mongols were gone, but the fear remained. King Bela IV returned to a land of ghosts. He knew they could come back and had to prepare. The old ways had failed. Hungary needed a new shield. Bela's great task was to save his realm. He understood a bitter truth. Earth and wood forts were useless. Hungary needed stone castles, many of them. He encouraged his nobles to build fortresses on high ground. He gave them land and power in return. These would be the new anchors of defense. He also invited settlers to repopulate the land. The army had to change drastically. Bela saw the need for more heavy armored knights. He reformed land ownership to support more soldiers. He learned from the enemy, the importance of archers and discipline. He even hired Cuman horse archers, former enemies, now allies. This was a massive undertaking, transforming the kingdom. It took decades, building castles, training new soldiers. There were political costs, but survival was the only goal. He was racing against time, against the ever-present Mongol threat. The dreaded day arrived in 1285. The Mongols returned, led by Nogai Khan and Talabuga. They expected Hungary to fall again. But Hungary was not the same country. King Ladislaus IV, Bela's grandson, was now on the throne. He had a network of stone castles and a reformed army. The Hungarians had learned. They would not meet the Mongols in a single pitched battle. Instead, they used the castles as strongpoints. They harassed the Mongols with small unit attacks and ambushes. The Mongol armies pushed deep into Hungary but found it hard. The castles held out, sieges were difficult. The local population fled to these castles or to the mountains and marshes. The Mongols found less plunder, less food for their horses. Hungarian forces launched constant raids. The invasion began to unravel for the Mongols. The winter was harsh, supplies ran low, disease spread. The Hungarian royal army engaged them in many smaller encounters. The Mongols faced a determined enemy and a landscape that fought back. By spring 1285, the Mongol commanders had seen enough. Their invasion was a failure, and they ordered a retreat. Hungary had done it. They had faced the Mongol storm and won. The invaders were driven out, defeated, humiliated. How did this happen? It was not one single thing. It was the wisdom of King Bela IV, his reforms, his vision. It was the courage of the Hungarian people, their resilience. They had learned from the horror of 1241. They adapted, refused to be victims a second time, and fought. The stone castles were crucial, like anchors in a stormy sea. They denied the Mongols easy victories and plunder. They broke the Mongol momentum. Castles forced them into long sieges, exposed them to counterattacks. This was a lesson for all of Europe. Stone walls worked, fortification became even more important. European warfare had been evolving, and this victory proved its worth. The combination of strong fortifications, heavy cavalry, disciplined infantry, and effective missile weapons like the crossbow was potent. The Hungarians used their terrain well. They did not let the Mongols dictate the terms of battle. They fought smarter, harder. The myth of Mongol invincibility was shattered. The significance of Hungary's victory in 1285 cannot be overstated. It was a beacon of hope, showing that the Mongols could be stopped. It helped to secure the eastern frontiers of Christian Europe. Hungary stood as a shield, protecting Central and Western Europe. This victory is a testament to human adaptation and the will to survive. A small kingdom, through foresight and courage, changed the course of history.